Hello, hello, my lovely Tauruses. This is going to be your weekly reading for March 11th through March 24th. It's either the 24th or the 25th. I'm going to be honest, I do not know what the date is. I don't know what it is. So, we're just going to put out cards, and whatever dates I'm saying, we're going to go based off of what I have written for the video dates description. So, if I say the wrong date, it is fine, because the video has the correct dates. So, with that in mind, we are going to go ahead and get started. Now, what always seems to happen is that it seems as though no matter how good I shuffle, there's always a few cards that kind of just stick around for everybody else. And I feel as though a lot of that is because we're dealing with collective energy. And so a lot of what I am talking about within this reading is for more than one person. And so we deal with a lot of very similar themes, and I don't know, maybe I just suck at shuffling, but I don't think that's the case, because I sit here and shuffle for a good amount of time. So when stuff pops up again and again, it's usually because it's stuff that we need to hear, and multiple people from multiple readings need to hear it. So with that in mind, we are going to go ahead and get started with card number 1 here on Monday. Week 1, you have the Two of Cups in reverse. So Taurus, you definitely, I feel as though with this card, you are not wanting to be social. You are not wanting to be around people. This card can sometimes mean that you're having, specific difficulties with your partner if you are in a relationship. This could signal that, both of you may be feeling a little bit more testy this day than other days. And so with a little bit of caution, I will say that, obviously this isn't for everybody, but be a little bit more cautious, because on this Monday here, you may find that you are a little bit more sensitive and a little bit more likely to lash out. You may find that you are a little bit more prone to disagreement with your partner on this Monday. But for the most part, I feel as though this is more about your energy, Taurus. I feel this is more you not wanting to be seen or not wanting to be recognized for some reason this day. I feel it's though a very protective hermit energy, like you are feeling very internal this day as opposed to, social and external. And it feels like more you're doing so out of a way of like protecting yourself from attention, whether it be good attention or bad attention from whatever this person or thing is that you are avoiding. So Taurus, that is Monday for you. Moving on to Tuesday, you have the Seven of Pentacles in reverse. So something about what you are doing at this time, Taurus, does not feel as though it is worth your effort and energy. You may have found that you have been putting in a lot of work, a lot of effort towards reaching a particular goal or achieving a particular event or certification within your life. And so you may feel as though the work that you have been putting towards this event or opportunity is not worth it. This is about reevaluating whether the energy is worth the reward here. When you look at this card, and when you look at this card in the reverse here, I mean, you can still see that this person is watering a tree. They're watering and putting into and giving to this thing in order to receive some sort of return. But maybe you feel as though the effort that you've been putting in is not being fairly recognized, or that the effort that you are putting in is not worth whatever this reward is. So there can be feelings of discouragement with that. You may be feeling discouraged, or you may be finding that, it's just not worth it to you to continue. Wednesday here, Taurus, you move on to the Six of Pentacles in reverse. This is our flow. This is about our balance. The Six of Pentacles, when you look at it, is perfectly balanced. She's got 3 pentacles and 3 pentacles in this really, beautiful rainbow over her head between her 2 hands. And it's meant to represent, the flow of energy within ourselves, the flow of our finances and resources, understanding that energy flows. There's an ebb and a flow, a give and a take, and this card is specifically about that trust of that ebb and flow, understanding that you always have enough when you need it, And, you know, with this card being in reverse, you may feel as though you are lacking. You may feel as though you are lacking the flow of your finances at this time. You may find that things are not being spent wisely within your life, that you may be overspending in certain areas versus others. Maybe you have discovered a sort of drain on your bank account from a specific area within your life, whether it be, you know, vices or subscriptions, whatever the case may be. There's some sort of imbalance here. And, well, this can often be a money imbalance. It can also be, you know, still related to that Seven of Pentacles, about what we are putting in. And so the Six of Pentacles, while it can be money, it could also be this imbalance of your personal energy, your time. Time is one of our most valuable resources. It's something that, you know, we can never get back. And so putting in the time, putting in the effort and energy, you may feel as though things are unbalanced. Something is asking more of you from one particular location that is affecting your ability to balance and take care of all other aspects of your life or yourself. Then on Thursday here, Taurus, you move to the Three of Swords in reverse. So this, to me, says that whatever this drain on your system is, whatever this Six of Pentacles, I almost imagine like a hole in a bucket, where it's like no matter how much you put into this bucket, there's a hole in the bottom of it. And so it doesn't matter how much you try to fill your cup again, Taurus. It doesn't matter how much you try to put in towards this thing, because you need to stop worrying about filling up the bucket, and you need to start worrying about, where is this hole coming from? Where is this leak? You need to plug that leak first before you can, you know, start really worrying about what fills up your cup. That's really what I'm getting from that Six of Pentacles in reverse and this Three of Swords in reverse, your next card for Thursday. I say all of this because this Three of Swords in reverse is that hole. This is what is causing the hole in your bucket. This is a past hurt, a past trauma or experience that has hurt you in some way. This can be disappointment. This can be feeling let down, feeling heartbroken or betrayed in some way. I do feel as though this Three of Swords is something that has happened within your past. I don't feel as though this event is happening on this day, on this Thursday here. But I feel like what this is your heart being hurt. And literally, I mean, I feel like these swords here are kind of like what stabbed that hole in your bucket to begin with. So whatever this hurt has been, it could have been something that hurt you, that ruined your self-esteem. It could be, you know, a betrayal from a partner or a friend, or, you know, as we said, disappointment as well too. So, and you need to be able to heal and to move on, and as we said, plug that hole in order to start really worrying about what fills up your bucket, what fills up your cup, essentially. What are you putting into, you know, because they say you can't pour from an empty cup, right? So if you're trying to take all of your energy and put back into yourself, Taurus, well, if you don't have, you know, a good bucket to begin with, if you don't have a bucket with a hole in it, then, you know, it's going to be way more complicated trying to figure out how you're going to fill this up when you have a constant leak. And then we move on to Friday here with the Nine of Cups in reverse. So while we're talking about holes in buckets and we're talking about filling up your cup and filling it with water, Taurus, this Nine of Cups is also saying not only does your bucket have a hole in it, not only are you putting into or trying to flow your energy into this bucket to fill yourself back up, but the Nine of Cups in reverse here is basically saying you have no water. You have an empty bucket with a hole in the bottom of it, and you don't have any more water to put into it. Your bucket, Taurus, essentially empty, bone dry. There's nothing there's nothing to put into it. Just kind of going with that example here, right? So the Nine of Cups, this is, you know, it's that, as we said, that water. But what is that water that we're putting in? It's our self-care. It's our love and attention for ourselves. It's this gentleness and this, you know, the things that bring us fulfillment. So this could be, you know, having a good time with your family, spending quality time with your family, doing something that is like a hobby, going out with friends. Although with that Two of Cups in reverse, I feel like a lot of you don't necessarily want to be around friends or people, but finding something that would bring you joy, finding something that would fill up your cup. The Nine of Cups in reverse is saying that there is whatever's going on, something is like blocking this flow of water for you, blocking your ability to even think about what you want as a hobby, what you want to go do. You're so drained and so low at this point, Taurus, that trying to discern your dreams and the things that you want, it feels essentially impossible because you're so low. You're not even worried about the future. You're worried about just trying to have the strength to make it through what you are going through right now. And so the Nine of Cups in reverse, Taurus, find something that can fill up your water. Find something that turns on that tap that can bring you that flow. Just to kind of give you a little bit of hope, just kind of jump ahead. I feel like at the very end of week 2 here, Taurus, we kind of move into that. It's like turning on a tap. I'm literally like turning my hand right here. It literally feels like turning on a tap, like you're opening up the spigot for some water to start flowing. Oop. Goodness, I'm making a mess. Taurus, on Saturday, you move to that Two of Swords here. Now, the Two of Swords represents conflict. It represents being pulled into two separate directions. When you look at these swords, you can see that they're kind of like locked together. And it's almost as if, you know, things are being pulled evenly from both sides. So there's neither movement in either direction, you know, like tug of war. And Taurus, I feel like this is conflict. It's hard to figure out whether this conflict is with you specifically internally. I feel like this is, for most of you, the internal conflict occurring. For some of you, this could also be external conflict with other people. But I feel as though mostly what's going on here is this is conflict within your thoughts, Taurus. I feel like you are recognizing that, you know, things are not working out for you right now. You're trying to figure out how to come up with a game plan. And there could be almost a sense of sacrifice, something that needs to happen here, where these swords need to do some work and kind of cut something out. You could feel as though you could feel very confused as to what it is that needs to be removed. Some of you could be very aware of what it is that needs removed, but feel very conflicted about allowing that to happen. And with your other cards here as well from earlier on in the week, I feel as for a lot of you, it feels as though there is no choice. There is no option to do something else. So you may feel very trapped in this situation because you don't see an alternative, or you don't see something being an option for you to take. So you may feel very trapped within this situation. You may feel as though you have no other choice but to keep trying to move or do things the way that you have been doing it. And that can be for all sorts of reasons, you know. There could very well be for you that you are the breadwinner or the person that handles your finances, and so you can't afford to, you know, move away from this job that's causing you concern or strife. You know, maybe there's whatever reason there is, you could very well feel as though you have no option or choice. You may feel very trapped within your circumstances with that Two of Swords. And then on Sunday for week 1 here, Taurus, you end with the Queen of Swords in reverse. Now, this is a lot more of that confusion. The Queen of Swords is normally a person who has the ability to see things through, to see something towards the end, and to know the steps that they need to take to get there. This is a person of action, a person of clear thinking, who has good logic and reasoning so that they can understand what the best choices they need to make to get there, and what they're going to need to do. And with this Queen of Swords in reverse, again, it's more of that feeling of not being able to see your way out of this, being able to see your way out of this situation that is keeping you contained, keeping you chained and confined within your circumstances. So Taurus, with that Queen of Swords in reverse, you very well could be feeling very trapped within this feeling or this energy of stuck. More along the lines with that metaphor of the bucket with the hole in it, right? It's, you know, how do you find time to do something to fill yourself back up if you don't have time to begin with, you know? Your bucket got a hole in it for a reason, because you didn't have the time or the energy to, you know, take care of it properly in the first place. And so because of that, it's like, how am I supposed to find time to do this thing that led to my problem in the first place, you know? So feeling very trapped within your circumstances, feeling very down for your first week here, Taurus. So I love you. I want to give you a big old hug because, you know, I feel for you with this energy here, Taurus. Let's go ahead and move on because we do see a little bit more positivity and light at the end of the week for week 2 here. So don't lose hope, Taurus. We're going to keep going and we're going to keep talking about these cards here. So Monday for week 2, Taurus, you move on to the 6 of Cups in reverse. This carries a piece of rejection in a way. This can also be like delulu status, like being stuck with your rose-colored glasses or trying to see the best in something that is really just a pile of garbage. But in your case here, Taurus, this doesn't feel like delulu era stuff for me. This doesn't feel like you being unrealistic here. This more leans towards disappointment for sure. This definitely feels like disappointment. So you may, you know, again, this is that your cup's pouring out kind of thing. This is you not being able to put into your heart. And specifically, you know, in that aspect of like your inner child, right? You very well could be feeling as though your inner child has been neglected, or not even wanting to think about your past or think about your inner child because of how painful your past experiences were. And it very well could be that your past experiences here specifically are what is tainting this entire first week for you. That this unresolved stuff from your past is actually what is poisoning and causing this corrosion within you in the first place. Moving on to Tuesday, you have the 8 of Wands in reverse. So this is interesting because this is about movement, but things not moving as fast as you would want them to. It's almost as if you want to move fast past this energy, past this feeling, because you just want it to be done and over with. You don't want to deal with it anymore, especially if you're struggling to cope with or to process, you know, painful experiences from your past or from your childhood. If that is something that you're struggling with, you know, sometimes we have this idea of wanting to fast track through it, wanting the secret sauce so that we can, you know, move and be healed and just be done and over with it. And that's not really how it works. It takes a lot of work for us to, you know, start to process and get past these, you know, adverse childhood experiences. For others, I feel as though this is a sense of desperation in a way. I feel as though you are desperately wanting to move into a new direction. You are desperately wanting to make a change, to see something new for yourself, and you feel so trapped that you feel as though things are moving at like a snail pace, that you know something needs to change, you know something needs to be different, and so with things not being different fast enough, you're feeling very frustrated and feeling very confined. Wednesday, we move on to the 3 of Wands. So we move from the 8 of Wands in reverse to the 3 of Wands here in the upright. The 3 of Wands is about choice and moving in a new direction. It's seeing a new future for yourself and choosing to make, it's the actual action of choice. You know, the 2 of Wands is being presented with choice, but the 3 of Wands is the actual momentum, the actual tipping of the scales into the new direction. And you can see when you look at this card, there's 2 mountains on the card between the sun. And you can see that these wands here in the water act as kind of like stepping stones along the way. They act as stepping stones towards one direction, one mountain. You know, it's not back and forth, back and forth. Taurus, on Wednesday here, it's saying that you make a decision on something, whether that be a decision to let something go, a decision on trying again, or a decision on choosing to move away from and move towards something else. So I'm not sure specifically what your choice is, but there is a choice that is made, and also direction. So not only do you make a choice, but you actually start to take action on this choice. Then on Thursday here, Taurus, you move on to the 7 of Swords in reverse. And this has a little bit of, how do I say this? Because normally this card to me is about taking your power back. and, taking back something that was taken from you. With this being in the reverse, it has a sense of disappointment. But we moved from the Three of Wands, so I feel like you are actually moving away from this direction. You are moving away from this Seven of Swords. I definitely feel like you are rejecting this option. When I'm looking at this card is a person that is surrounded by all these swords. Let me bring it up so that you can see it. This person is surrounded by all these swords in darkness. And I feel as though that person right now is you, Taurus. You are surrounded in so much darkness, and with those swords, all of this pain and painful experiences. And you're choosing to walk away from seeing yourself as the victim of this. So I feel like this Seven of Swords in reverse can sometimes be that victim mentality. But with this Three of Wands, I feel like you're choosing to walk away from it. Like, you realize that all this pain and this stuff that you've been through has happened. There's nothing that you can do to change it. And so now, even though it is still here, it's still something that, kind of aches for you every now and then. I feel as though the Three of Wands the day prior is you moving away from this Seven of Swords in reverse. It's you moving away from that pain and not allowing it to control you or to sway your decisions in your future. Then, Taurus, we move on to the King of Swords in reverse here for your Friday. Easier said than done, walking away from painful experiences, right? I guess it depends on the way that you're going about walking away from something. There's a difference between walking away to move to something else and walking away because you're in a place of avoidance. There's are you in a place of avoidance or acceptance? Are you accepting these painful past experiences and choosing to leave them in the past? Or are you trying to leave them because you're trying to escape from them? Are you trying to avoid having to deal with them and feel them? And the King of Swords in reverse here, it carries a sense of avoidance with it. But it also carries a sense of, not thinking clearly. And sometimes this can be, yes, somebody who is, making you feel inferior intellectually. This can be someone who makes you feel belittled by talking down to you. I feel like for you, Taurus, this could be maybe a person that you have dealt with in the past. It could also be, I feel like this is representative of your internal monologue in a way. So, Taurus, you very well could have a highly critical internal monologue that makes you feel inferior in some way. Makes you feel stupid or makes you feel as though you don't make the right decisions. Whatever the case may be, I feel like this King of Swords in reverse is not you, Taurus, but it's like your expectations of you or your self-image of you, the way that you have been thinking about yourself or the way that you have been speaking to yourself within your own mind. It carries this feeling of talking down to yourself, Taurus, and so don't do that because you are a smart person. You do know things. We all have our inner critic, right? But our inner critic, doesn't have to be something that we listen to, and it doesn't have to be something that we allow to control us. With that in mind, let's talk about your last two cards. I've been saying these cards seem very positive, seem like a very good new change for you, and let's talk about why. So Taurus, you have on Saturday, you have the Devil, and then on Sunday, you have the Sun. I'm holding them in the order that they showed up in. So Taurus, for the Devil card here on Saturday, the Devil is about breaking free from the chains, breaking free from self-limiting beliefs. So even though we had the, Seven of Swords and the King of Swords both in reverse, walking away from these feelings of pain and hurt, walking away from our negative self-image or our negative self-talk. The Devil card in reverse is recognizing the places where you hold yourself back, recognizing the internal thought patterns within your mind that keep you stuck within toxic patterns or cycles, and understanding the places where maybe you are self-sabotaging, holding yourself back. When you look at this card, you can see that this person has a little stairway into their mind. And it's meant to represent, the escape, coming out of the mental mind prison that we can hold ourselves in. Old expectations, beliefs, thought patterns, the way that we have always done things, things that keep us in a box. And the Devil card is about moving out of that box, allowing yourself to be seen and heard and recognized for who you are. So Taurus, the Devil card is freeing yourself. With that in mind, I feel as though this Three of Wands card on that Wednesday, the decision that you're making is moving away from these negative things, moving away from these adverse experiences or thoughts or painful things, painful thought patterns, and mental chatter with that King of Swords in reverse. And the Devil card is you recognizing and understanding where you hold power, that within your own brain you are the controller of your thoughts. You can choose to think something different at any point, and choosing to free yourself from the limitations containing you in this same cycle, this same repeated cycle. And lastly, on Sunday, as we said, Taurus, you have the Sun. Ending on a positive note, connecting with your happiness, connecting with your brightness, your light, and your authentic energy. The Sun illuminates everything, and so it means that there is nothing that can be hidden. It's about being seen fully. You can't hide your truth from the Sun. You can't hide it. It shines light and eclipses all of the darkness and the things that hold us back, our shadow and things that maybe bring us down a little bit. And so the Sun is about connecting with your happiness, connecting with your joy, with the things that bring you light, and allowing yourself to shine your own light. For you to be the Sun, Taurus, for you to be the light that shines. And so there is something here, walking away from these painful thoughts and feelings and patterns within your own mind. Freeing yourself from it allows you to move into a space where you can safely accept yourself for who you are. Safely allow yourself to be seen instead of, hiding the best things about you from people who love you and want to get to know you. So Taurus, anyway, thank you for being here today. That is your weekly reading for March, and I look forward to seeing you all again next week.